Good morning, everybody. Bright and early on Monday, the start of the week. Just letting everybody get their coffee here real quick. Go live here. And if everybody will give me like 2 minutes so I can get my cup of coffee because I left it in the house. I'll be right back. Yeah, I had to tell everybody, hang on to your pants. I got to get some coffee. I wondered, I was like, why do you need coffee? For all my YouTubers, if you can hear me, but you can't see me, I'm actually getting a cup of coffee because I got in such a hurry this morning, I forgot to grab mine. And so I will be with you on screen in just about 1 minute and 30 something seconds is what's left, so that my coffee is nice and hot. And we will get started for Monday. Nothing like going live and not being in front of the camera. How about that? So everybody on YouTube that has joined me this morning, and you can't see my face, all you can see is the wall behind me. Put something in the comments like, late again, we've been waiting on you. It's all about you getting a cup of coffee. And so that when I get back, pop in front of the camera, I'll see if you're all awake too, or if y'all were all getting coffee like me. And here we go. Back to the camera. And my coffee. And surprise, everybody. This is what happens when you get started and you forget your coffee first thing in the morning. I was hoping, let's see, hey Gail, how you doing? Good morning. Jay Chisel, good morning. B. Pena, Daryl, Cabo, BDD, Mondo. Thanks everybody for joining this morning. Good morning, it's Monday. Thanks, Gail Ann. Appreciate that. Well, so actually, I've been awake since 4. I was sitting here and I had just finished editing a video and realized that I hit start live and looked down for my coffee and said, uh-oh, I don't have my coffee. And I was like, I don't think I can sit here for an hour with no coffee. So I had to jump back in and get my coffee. Hey, if you're new here, everybody that's new here on TikTok, don't forget to like, share, follow, do all that fun stuff so that I can do the same at the end of the live, providing you're not a bot. And same thing goes for you over on like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. And if you don't know, I do go live Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Central Time. And this is a place where we just drink coffee and get the day started so we can talk about just about anything you want to cover. You know, we had sports this weekend. Looks like the Chicago Bears pulled out a miracle and beat Green Bay. And just so you know, I am a Chicago Bears fan, especially when it's there's other teams I like in the NFL, but they're not in the playoffs. And so out of all of the teams in the NFL playoff right now, Chicago is my favorite, mainly because I have some friends that are from that part of the country and I like to support them. Country Shots, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining. David Wilford just joined. Thanks, David. Good morning. I hope everybody got their coffee. Everybody got their coffee. I have to hold it up higher and not to be rude here. Let me see. I'm going to adjust this camera down just a little bit. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Do you think the Bears could win it all? I think they could, but they're going to have some tough teams to play, and they can't play like they played this weekend and get behind like that and expect to come back. So did everybody have a good weekend? Everybody's got their Christmas stuff down. This is the second week back, back to work, and the start of the second week of retirement for me. I do have morning, God. Hey, how's it going this morning? I do have. I got invited by YouTube to join a group, and it's an 8-week class where they give you some insight on live streaming. So maybe I'll learn, and I'm sure I'll learn something. Anyway, that starts tomorrow. I think first class is like at noon Central Time, so I'll be doing some of that this week, starting this week. The Bills did look good, Country Shots. You're right. And you know, hey, I thought the Eagles were going to pull it out. San Fran pulled it out late yesterday in the game, so they're still in the hunt too. But they got some tough teams to play too. So I'm not real sure exactly who will be in the Super Bowl this year. If you watched any college football this last week, you would know that Indiana won, and they're going to be in the national championship. The Hoosiers. And I'm kind of rooting for them. I mean, they're ranked number 1. I like their quarterback. I'd like to see someone other than, some of the normal teams that usually win the national championship. Georgia's out. Looks like it's going to be Miami and Indiana. And I think if Indiana plays like they did this weekend, that they could win the national championship this year. However, don't count out Miami because they look like they have a pretty. I watched that game too, and they have a good team, and I think that they were kind of underrated, and that's why when Miami played Ohio State, they just spanked them. And a lot of people, I don't think, expected that kind of a game. But on January the 19th, which is a Monday night, I never understood why they play the national championship game for college on Monday night when everybody's got to get up and go to work the next day. So, like I said, it's on the 19th, so you may want to go ahead and plan on, if you're a college football fan, taking off on January the 20th so that you can stay up late and watch that game. Nate, how's it going? Thanks, Nate. I appreciate that. You know, so I really like the signs on the wall too, but you know, TikTok, I've gotten like probably 4 strikes when I use this wall behind me and I'm promoting a product because their AI thinks that I am promoting a third party business, which I mean, it's so vague, and no matter what evidence you give them or what you tell them, you automatically get strikes against you, and it's really frustrating arguing with an AI computer. And there's no numbers, there's no customer service, there's nothing where you can argue your case. And most of their stuff and from other TikTokers too is it's just pettiness, and I don't know. They really need to improve on that, and maybe they have some, but not enough. Al, what's going on over here on TikTok? Yeah, how did you like that? So I don't know if everybody saw the videos I posted yesterday. What would you do if you all of a sudden found yourself poor and homeless? And I got a few responses. I haven't looked at everyone yet, but I mean, after I asked that question and posted it, it really made me think. Like, what would you do? What would you do if you woke up and didn't have a penny to your name and you were homeless and didn't have a place to lay your head down? Maybe not even a car for transportation. Can you imagine that? I mean, that's terrible. And I think that one of the reasons I asked that question is because we have such a homeless problem here in the United States, and I think it's gotten worse because we have a lot of people that are homeless, not because they want to be, but because they are mentally ill and they need help. Their alcohol and drug addiction. I mean, there's just lots of things, and it doesn't seem like anybody has come up with a good idea for the homeless. The cost of living is nuts. I'll agree with you. First off, I could survive in the wilderness. Okay. Well, if you do have survival skills, that would probably help you, providing you had what you needed. And I don't know where everybody lives, but I can tell you here in Austin, I have some friends that are on the Austin Police Department, and I've done some ride-alongs and gone into some of these homeless camps, and oh my God, they will set you back when you get to the squalor, the filth, the drugs, the mental sickness. I mean, it's just it's crazy. So I don't know. I've often thought that we put our military in military camps in tents, and I'm not sure why we couldn't do the same thing for our homeless. Of course, we'd have to have a designated area and provide that, and they've done similar things to that in different areas, but it always seems like they spend millions and millions and millions of dollars. And what they don't do is they don't provide enough housing for the homeless, and they don't have a plan to take care of them medically, and try to get as many of them as they can back on their feet where they're self-sufficient. So I just have always thought that if those tents were good enough for our military who are overseas fighting for our freedom, that it would surely be good enough for the homeless. And so that's always been my push there. Maze 220, aloha, all the way from Hawaii. Hey, how you doing? How's the waves over there? Ricky Parker joined 5368. Hey, Ricky, how's it going? Thank you guys for joining me on YouTube. I really appreciate that. I'm really trying to do better and build while I have a good community on TikTok. I'm trying to build a good community on YouTube, and so that I have both. Is that being greedy? Probably. But I've been on YouTube since 2019. I've been on TikTok since 2022. And so I started doing lives on both about the same time. They both have their pluses and minuses. One of the things that just recently came out on YouTube News, is I can stream like I am now currently from my mobile device on YouTube. And it can be viewed in both formats now. And all it was is a feature they added to YouTube Studio, and I turned it on. And so now anything that they view the live, depending on what they're viewing on, if it's their mobile device, then it'll look like a mobile device. If it happens to be a computer, then it'll be the computer widescreen view. And same thing for TV. So whereas in the past, if you filmed it on your mobile device vertical, that's how it showed up everywhere. Now it's going to depend on what you're viewing it on. So that's a good thing. We could actually tax billionaires and eliminate asset loopholes and provide minimal housing. Yeah, you're probably right. I think my biggest thing for providing housing for the homeless is, and this has been proven, and it's not just with housing, is if you just let people, if we just take care of them and they have no skin in the game at all, it doesn't make things better. It makes things worse. So I think as long as, we should do something like that. As long as our goal is not just to take care of them and get them off the street, but to get them back on their feet where they can become self-sufficient and contribute to society. Now, I know we have homeless they're really sick, and they may not ever be able to. And I'm okay trying to, come up with something to take care of them too. But it's just like people when they go to prison, the recidivism rate is so high because when they let someone out of prison, they can't get a job. They make it very difficult on them. And a lot of them, I don't feel sorry for. But others, if you've ever worked with anybody who's been in prison, if you don't give them a chance to be able to support themselves and become self-sufficient, because what happens is they get out of prison and maybe a lot of them don't have any family members, so they have no support to go to. And they'll go to a halfway house in a lot of cases, and they'll be there for a few months, but then, eventually they're out of the halfway house. They have to have a job, but they can't get a job because a lot of them have felony records, or just the fact that they're, been in prison too. And so they have a hard time getting a job. And if they do get a job, it pays minimum wage, and they can't support themselves on that. And so if you don't have family and a support system when you do get out of prison, it's really difficult. And two, the reason you see a lot of people go back to prison is what they find out is when they get out on this side of the world, and they get out of the initial, halfway house or so, and they have to be self-sufficient and on their own, and they have no family support, is they find themselves, one, poor, two, probably homeless, and then they go back to what they know, and maybe that was being a thief, burglary, bank robbery. I mean, whatever they did, they go back to that to get money, or they get back on drugs, and then they eventually end up being arrested and go back into prison. But in prison they have 3 meals, they have a place to sleep. We take pretty good care of them, and a lot of them even have a job to do while they're there. So the things that they need on the outside is what they get on the inside, and that's why a lot of them become institutionalized. It's just my opinion. I'm not a professional, but I have worked in the prison system, and so I've seen how that works. And so anyway, there you go. Objective reality determines your conscious, so you cannot get out of it. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. Tim 83. Yeah, I think you're confused too, buddy. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, this morning I was doing a little short video on air conditioner filters, because, and I think I've showed you before, but I'll show you again. This company Filter Buy, they make AC filters, and this just happens to be a company that I've been buying filters from for a long time. They're really good quality. They always have free shipping, and now they're on the TikTok shop. So there you go. So that's what I was doing that made me late to start, or actually I started on time and then realized I didn't have my coffee, and so kind of had to walk off screen while I was getting coffee. But doesn't look like it was too terrible. Had the weather here in Central Texas. Wasn't Saturday was kind of windy and cold. Not really a fun day to be outside, but Sunday afternoon was really nice. Did a little work in the shop, and had a good Sunday. And today it's I think going to be not terribly bad. I don't know exactly what the temp is, but it's not too cold. I don't know if Texas is really going to have much of a winter. Lord Scone, good morning. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. So what was everybody else doing on the weekend? Anything exciting? Projects? I did. You want to talk about somebody who has some really unusual tools and shop areas, and that's and y'all seen him on here before, Tractor Man 44. He's also on YouTube too. He looks like he's a retired AC guy, but man, he's got some old tractors and old tools, and I was watching him sharpen a 3-foot saw blade that goes on some of these big that they'd use in a sawmill, and it's some of his tools are pretty interesting. So if you ever out there, go check out his page. It's Tractor Man 44. He's on TikTok and YouTube. I don't know where Ed's at this morning. I guess he hadn't woke up. And I think Chris has been putting out some good videos too. Country Shot, you're about 30 minutes from Memphis. Tennessee, all right. And it's below freezing there, yeah. I had a friend that went to college there in Tennessee. He went to Vanderbilt. It kills me. He went to Vanderbilt, became a chemical engineer, and he's never worked one day as a chemical engineer. But I guess that's, that's what you get when grandpa pays your way through college. And I guarantee you that had to be an expensive ride. Any plans today? Well, I've planted all my trees. I've done several different projects. I am preparing the wall on the opposite side of the shop for cedar. I'm probably not gonna put all the signs on it, but it will be covered in cedar. My wife likes it, and so I think we're going to do that on the other side too. I also have a garage door insulating kit coming, and so that was kind of one of the things I was working on at the end of last week and over the weekend, is trying to decide what type of insulation I want to do on the garage door. I thought I was just going to replace it, the entire door, when the springs broke a month or so back. But they wanted, nearly $3,500 to $5,000 for a new insulated door. And then they didn't even have them in stock. I would have had to wait 3 weeks to get one, which I wasn't going to wait for 3 weeks with my garage door not working. So I've decided to go a different path. And I was going to use foam board, and they make some foam board kits that are already cut, but those are pretty expensive. So I was just going to buy the 4x8 sheets and cut them myself. But after further research, that adds weight to your garage doors and could require you having a garage door company back out to readjust the springs to handle the additional weight. And I've used some stuff. It's like a radiant barrier that works really well. I used it in my shop out back. And I found a company here in the United States, believe it or not. I think they were in Alabama, is where they're shipping from. And they have a kit, and it's the pieces are pre-cut, and they actually go on the inside. They cover the entire inside of your garage door, and they leave there's a space, an airspace between the garage door and the actual radiant barrier, and it gives you a R factor rating of like 10, I think is what it says. And read a lot of reviews. A lot of people here in Texas have used it on their garage doors and say that it is it's reduced the temperature in their garages about 20 degrees. So for $150 delivered, that's probably going to be my next big project, and I'll try to film some of it so I can share it with you. And it does both, keeps the heat out, but it also keeps the warmth in. Any other plans for today? Not really. Not really. I've just kind of taken it day for day. I do have some projects. I just haven't got the want to get started on them yet. Yeah, it is a big difference of getting up, and I do this in the morning, and I'll do a couple of videos, but after that I kind of leave it wide open. Maybe go for a walk, get a little exercise in. Some real good friends of ours had a baby yesterday, and so we may go to the hospital and visit for a short period of time and see the baby. So anyway, let's see here. What does that say? Come live with you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Gail Ann says that if she found herself poor and homeless, she'd just come live with me. Dexter's really just playing Legos with my grandson. That's always good. Oh yeah, that's fun. Playing with her grandson. Dill pickle. So yeah, that's kind of where we're going today, or what I was planning on doing. I never know. Think I have to go see my financial planner tomorrow, and Wednesday the AC company's coming to clean all the ductwork in the house. This is a job that they were supposed to have done 2 weeks ago. Well, actually, they said they were going to get it done before Christmas, but that didn't happen, and so it's been postponed a couple of times. But anyway, so that's supposed to go down on Wednesday. I think that's about it, and then I'm sure I'll come up with some project or something to do. I've got some painting inside the house I need to do, but Lord have mercy, is there anybody here that likes to paint? I hate to paint. I can do it. I've done it. I refuse to pay somebody else to do it because I'm as good, if not better, than most of the people you pay. And I just hate doing it. It's such a pain in the hiney. Pain is tough. Well, I've just about, so like when we built this house, and most builders do these days, when they paint the inside of a house, they use flat paint. And they use flat paint, one, because it doesn't show the imperfections in the sheetrock as much, but two, it's cheap. It's the cheapest paint they can buy, and so that's what they spray on the outside and on the inside. And so I have slowly but surely, room by room, gone back in and repainted all the walls. I've left the ceilings flat because that's you don't have to, but it would have taken me 10 times longer to paint the ceilings satin too. And so for now, I've just left them flat and painted all the walls satin, because with a satin paint, somebody puts their fingerprints on there, you get something on there, you can take a damp cloth and wipe it off. With flat paint, you cannot. Mike F245, what's up, buddy? Jeff Rhodes just joined on TikTok. How you doing? I've got Gail Ann, I've got Tim, I've got Cosmocrat. Let's see here. Mace is on. I got Rick Parker's on. So we got a whole crew here today. So that's great, especially for a Monday. A lot of times people don't, Mondays are the day where like, it's the start of the week. Maybe they don't get up. Maybe they decide to take an extra day and call out on Monday. Have you thought about going live during your projects? So yes. Yes. The problem that I run into trying to do a project and go live at the same time is, one, the cameras don't follow you. And I don't have somebody, to constantly film me. So that kind of makes it difficult. It really depends on what I'm doing. Like maybe when I do the garage door, I can set up, how can I do that? Yeah, it's pretty hard to do those live unless you've got somebody holding the camera. I think I've tried it once before. I was putting a cabinet together, and it just, I couldn't pay close enough attention to people asking questions. I don't have a moderator saying, hey, Lord Scone asked this question, where I could just talk. and answer questions. So what I find easier is to actually do a video. And even that takes time, and you really need someone to help you, because you have to try to shoot stuff in stages, and then, you know, edit it and put everything together so that when the video plays, it's, you know, that it all flows. But, you know, if it's something short, and like if I'm just standing in front of the camera and showing you, I could probably do that. I'd have to, let me think here, because my desk is on wheels. So I could maybe I can show you some of the work I do on when I'm insulating the garage door. That's a possibility. That's a good idea. Thanks for the idea there. Olivia just joined. Good morning, Olivia. How are you doing? It's Monday, the start of the week. Tipsy. You know, I was, where was I? I'm trying to find the information. We were talking about coffee, and, you know, you always get, Olivia's mom's in the hospital. Let's look at that. Oh, Olivia, I'm sorry, honey. Let's everybody send Olivia prayers. It looks like her mom's in the hospital. Olivia, how old is your mom? You know, it's tough when our parents get in bad health as they age. You know, just like it's, she's 68. Oh, she fell and hit her head. Oh, that's terrible. I won't even show you a picture of my wife. She's talking about falling. She went to the gym with my youngest granddaughter and was on a treadmill. And of course, I wasn't there, so I don't know the exact details, but somehow she stumbled, and when she fell on the treadmill, her jaw underneath, she hit her chin, she hit the cheek on the same side, bruised her knee, cut her shin, and so yeah, she's been kind of limping around here too. We had to take her to the emergency room just to get her checked out. Luckily, no broken bones, just a lot of bruising, pretty bad bruising, and she had a cut on her shin, but nothing major. And I had to remind her, because she's about your mom's age, that she's not 35 anymore. And even though she's in really good shape, you know, treadmills for anybody can be dangerous if you trip or stumble, and they're supposed to have an emergency kill switch on it, but the kill switch didn't work, or at least that's what I was told. I don't know. So I've instructed her to stay off of all treadmills so that she doesn't. I said, you know, just because as you age, falls can really cause you some problems. You know, you hear people all the time, elderly people break their arms, break their hip, broke their leg, and usually it's where they've stumbled and fell, or you know, something like that happened. But treadmills can be really tricky. Anybody ever fell on a treadmill? I have. I'm like I always, you know, you always see different falls on a treadmill where somebody stumbles and they fall on the treadmill and it pulls their pants down, or, you know, and those are things that are kind of, you know, everybody laughs at because somebody makes a video about it, but they really can be dangerous. because most of the time people are on treadmills with shorts on, and your skin gets down there and hits that rubber that's running, depending on how fast you have the treadmill going, and then it'll just peel the hide off of you. So yeah, they can hurt you. So those are something you definitely want to be careful with. And nobody in the gym came to her rescue. So luckily my granddaughter was there and got the treadmill turned off and got her cleaned up and brought her home. Of course, they didn't want to tell me what happened, so at least not right away. Till the next morning, I was like, I already I'd heard them talking about it. They didn't think I heard them, but I did. So I knew that she had fallen. So yeah, she's been kind of stiff and sore. And she said that she was going to tell all my friends that I hit her. And I was like, yeah, right. That they know me better than that. But I mean, the bottom of her chin, it's like that deep purple bruise on her chin. So it's crazy. So, I had I had a heart guy tried to get me to take a stress test like that, and of course I was 60 pounds heavier then, but I was like, why do you want me to take a stress test? I said, I've never had a heart attack. I'm not short breath, and I ended up taking it and passing it. But I'm telling you what, some of those stress tests, they'll, it's like, you want me to do a stress test, but if you don't exercise regularly, they can be pretty taxing on your system. And for me, I've got a bad knee, and I kept telling the doctor, I was like, look, I got a bad knee, and if that thing gives out, I'll be on the floor. Well, anyway, I stressed it out and did it and passed it and all of that. But yeah, those stress tests are a big giant pain in the butt. They're trying to make me fall. Yeah, they just keep turning up the speed on you. Yeah, I know what yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So Olivia, back, if you don't mind me asking, so your mom fell, she hit her head, and is she conscious in the hospital? Does she have a concussion? I'm guessing she probably at least has a concussion. Anyway, I hope she's going to be okay. We're going to send prayers for you, and in hopes you let us know how she's doing. And we'll surely send prayers for her to get better. I know. You're right. When you're young, a lot of times you take your parents for granted, and then you age, and you're not 18 anymore, and you don't know as much as you thought you knew, and then you realize that you really do need your parents and their wisdom, and sometimes their money and their financial help. But whether you need their financial help or not, nobody wants to see their parent hurt or sick, or any loved one, as far as that goes. So Dofrey, did you pass your stress test? Right to my ragged edge. Yeah. Stanley Geiger, hey, how's it going? That's great. Let me see, what was I doing here? I was gonna ask, that's what I was gonna ask. So here's a what would you do question. Are everybody ready? So we're going to do a what would you do question. So what would you do if you woke up and you were rich? What would you do if you woke up and you were all of a sudden rich? Filthy rich. One, that's kind of like, do you believe in Santa Claus? but, but hey, if for some wild reason you woke up and you were filthy rich, I can think of a lot of things I would do. I think the first thing I would do is I'd want to take care of all of my family members. And, if I was rich, really rich, I'd want to take care of all the family members and make sure that their basic needs were taken care of. When I say that, I don't mean just endlessly support them, but maybe make sure their homes were paid for. If they didn't have a home, maybe get them a home. Made sure they have transportation and a roof over their head, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's what I would do if I was rich. That would be one of the first things I would do. And then, I think I would, do some philanthropy. I'd want to give some money to my church. I'd want to, try to find something good to do with the money. I mean, can you imagine, who was it that what's his name? Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey and his wife at Christmas time and stuff, or at least they say, thank you. Hey, there's Ed. How's it going, Ed? It's Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. So, hey, Ed, we're just doing a quick, what would you do if you were rich? And I'm just kind of filling people in all the fun stuff I think I could do if I was rich. A lot of people say, I'd want to travel the world. I'd like to do this. I think I'm kind of weird. I just don't have that passion for traveling the world or traveling in a lot of places. I have traveled. I've been outside the United States a few times. And I'm not really crazy about that. I think that, if I was going to travel, I'd want to travel inside the United States. And I'm not sure I'd want to fly. I mean, I'm not scared to fly. But I guess if I was rich, maybe I could have my own plane and pilot to take me from place to place. But, I always think that traveling and vacations are overrated. You get yourself all worked up that you're going to go someplace maybe you've never been before, and then you get there and you're disappointed, or you're not maybe disappointed, but it's just okay. You have a decent time while you're there, but it's not someplace that you'd go, God, I got to go back. I just never have found one of those places that I've ever traveled to that said, wow, I could come back here every year. But everybody's different. I mean, I know people that love to travel, and I think I like to travel. If I'm going to travel, I like to travel with a group of people, and preferably someone who is better at organizing. Because like if you go on if you travel somewhere, you don't want to get there and then go, okay, now what do we do? We're here, and you're not familiar with the area, or you haven't planned out in advance. So if you have someone that's a really good planner and likes to travel, and you kind of have an agenda when you get there, like, hey, when we get here, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And then we're going to go here, do X, Y, and Z. Those are the kind of people I like to travel with. And I'm not good at that, but I know people that are. And so that's who I like to travel with if I'm going to travel at all. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Make a list of your bills and pay them, then share the wealth with the family. Yes, yes. Friends, donate. Yeah. Yeah, I often wonder, people like Bill Gates, people that got more money than they could spend in a lifetime. How, how do they determine where to? I think they look to donate their money to things that they feel like have the largest impact on society. Um, I'd like to be able to, um, if I went out to eat somewhere, tip the waiter $500. I mean, that's something that would be, it wouldn't be life changing for the waiter, but it sure would be a surprise when you gave them five $100 bills, and probably make their day. So yeah, I mean, those are the kind of things that I think I would like to do. Go to the grocery store and stand behind somebody who's maybe a mom with 3 or 4 kids, and pay for their groceries, stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that if I was independently wealthy, I think that's what I would like with my money. And of course, you want to take care of your immediate family too. So what about the rest of y'all? Anything special you would do if you were independently wealthy? Donate with a return. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Ed, how was your weekend? Bobby just joined. Hey, Bobby, how's it going? Set up a trust for his family. That is a that's good. Love to ride. Give out people's groceries. That's really good. A lot of people, a lot of times, you don't know what training with our board of elders and deacons. Oh, okay. Sounds like you had a bit, and then a funeral. Wow. Hmm. 2 worships. I saw the worship service. It was very good. Just so everybody knows, Ed's on Sundays. Or Saturdays. Saturday they post. Their services are filmed and posted on YouTube, so you can always check out Ed's sermon. Hey Kim, how's it going this morning? Let's see, Judy Orwa, how you doing? Where I live, December the 25th is my birthday. Well, happy birthday, aka Christmas, buddy, America time. My birthday is December the 24th. So, my best friend Judy of 40 years, his birthday is on December the 24th. And I've asked him several times. I was like, growing up as a kid, he said, yeah, growing up as a kid, because he had 3 or 4 brothers and sisters, his birthday was always just kind of grouped in with Christmas. And so he never really felt like he had his own special day. And I could see that, and I could see where that might be difficult to do for parents, even because you got Christmas time and you got a house full of kids, and you're trying to do things for all of them. Yet you have one that has a birthday on December the 24th. So yeah, I could see where that happened. So what we always try to do is, and unfortunately we can never do it on the 24th because they either have something planned or we have something planned. So we always try to do it on the 20th of December, or sometime right before his birthday. We'll always go and go up and meet with him, and usually spend the night and go out to dinner, and just have a day that's special for him not on his birthday, but near his birthday. And we've been doing that for about 40 years now. Well, that's good, Judy. I'm glad you're fine. My parents celebrate my birthday more than Christmas. Well, that's sweet of them. Are you a only child, or do you have brothers and sisters? Life lately has made you speechless. Ed is a great man. He's a great mentor, a great friend. He is outstanding. And so if you're not following Ed, you should be following Ed. 6 sisters, 4 brothers. Wow, you came from a big family. That is huge. My wife's side of the family is pretty big. She's got 3 brothers and a sister. I'm rarely without words, goes with what I'm called. Amen there, Ed. Amen. If you're counting me, 5 brothers. Wow. That's crazy. That's fun. So, is there anybody on the live today that would call themselves a carpenter or handy? I mean, a handyman's a lot of stuff, but anybody a carpenter? Anybody at all do any kind of carpenter work? Building, hobby, nothing? So one of the things that I've not attempted, but I'm going to attempt is, and for some reason, I don't know why, I just never have made a cabinet and drawers. And so I want to do something really simple. I was at a friend of mine that owns the antique place in McGregor, and I saw this, and of course it was an antique, but it was like a 3-drawer little cabinet, and the drawers had wood slides, so they didn't have the metal slides where you pull the drawer out. And I got to looking at it and how it was made, and I thought, wow, that's ingenious. And it's probably just because they made furniture like that before they had all of the, soft close slides and all of that fun stuff. And so I've been doing some research, and you can make drawers and a cabinet without any hardware other than the screws that it takes to put it together. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of a project that I put on my list. I don't know how it'll come out or if it'll even work, but I'll need to. I'm gonna have to buy like a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood, and then cut it all up and see if I can actually put one together that works. I think making the drawer is probably going to be the easiest part, but I don't know. The cabinet's pretty basic too. Just curious to see if I can actually pull that all together. I'll have to make one and see how it comes out. If it comes out bad, then I won't show it. If it comes out good, well, then I'll build a second one and I'll actually film that one. Can you imagine making a video and of something you don't know how to do, and then you mess up and it doesn't turn out, and people are like, what am I watching this video for? But life has taken my breath away on occasion. Yeah, I think so. Jennifer, how you doing? Thank you for joining. 4 little sisters, older brother. He didn't have a chance. Yeah, I hear you there. I hear you there. That's funny. So yeah, Mondays, today I don't really have anything major planned. I wish I could say I did, but I don't. I don't know. This is one of the things that I think was my biggest concern about being retired, is that eventually I would run out of projects to do and become bored. I hope that that's not the case. I still think I'm transitioning and trying to get used to being retired, and I don't know why it's been so difficult. So my wife retired, and she just said this the other day. She's been retired about 7 months. And she said, "Oh, it's glorious. I have no inclinations to ever have to go back into the workforce again." And so, on one hand, I'm like, well, I hope I don't get bored, because I'm not one that likes to sit on the couch. I need to have something to do, and so that I want to continue. Time to get up, moving around, do something excellent today. Thank you for joining, Ed. Have a great day. Ed's been with me since day one. Great supporter. Yeah. So anyway, I'm still working on that part of it. I have moments where I'm glad that I don't have to jump up and go straight to work. And then other times, I just don't want to be bored. I need something to do. So maybe a part-time job down the road. I'm not sure what I want to do. Volunteer, maybe some volunteer work. I always like to do something that I haven't done before. I want to experience something new. So yeah, maybe. One of the things I want to try to teach myself is, how to build cabinets. Don't know why. It's just something I want to learn how to do. So, I mean, I just see where that if you can build cabinets, everybody needs a cabinet from time to time. Hey, Carson, how is it going? Thank you for joining. So yeah, there we go there. And then, like I said, in the next 8 weeks, I've got some, I was invited by YouTube to join a group, where they talk about all the inside tips for going live. And so hopefully I'm going to learn, some stuff there too. You can spend a lot of money on equipment, to produce, live streams. I'm not sure that I want to, go all out, mainly because you really need a studio to do some of the stuff that they're talking about doing. And I don't have a studio. and nor am I ever going to have a studio. So I just keep it simple and easy. I find that works the best for me most of the time. So anybody got anything special going? Morning, guys. You got anything going today on Monday? There's a studio right there. Need nothing except your voice. There you go. That's kind of the way I looked at it too. My biggest thing is in the garage shop here is summertime. And that's kind of one of the reasons that I'm insulating the garage door. That's something a project that I've wanted to do for quite some time. So I've started doing, I've replaced the bottom gasket. Well, actually, the gasket I was told that's on the garage door is I don't know, 20 years old and cannot be replaced. It's not the garage door is not designed to be able to replace that rubber gasket. So what I found that works really well and is fairly affordable is pipe insulation, black pipe insulation, and it fits perfectly around the old rubber gasket and covers it up and gives you a way better seal than even the original gasket did, and doesn't look bad. And if it wears out, it's easy to replace, and it's pretty cheap. So that's what I put on it for now. And now I'm going to insulate the inside with a solar barrier material. It looks like bubble wrap with foil on both sides, but it's really flexible. And like I said, I'm going to do that and see how that works. And then I know I could always put in what they call a mini split system. And I might put in a mini split system. But, those aren't cheap. Depending on what size unit you get, you could spend between $1,500 and $3,000 to have one installed. So I have to kind of weigh out, is it worth putting that kind of an investment to have the garage air conditioned in the summertime? But it might be. I don't know. But I do have a contact and someone that can do that work. It's not cold in Texas. You're right. Most of the time, it is not cold at all. This winter it's not been anything. You're complicating it. But when it's 100 degrees outside, it is super hot in this garage. However, that's why I said, hey, Duana, good morning. It may not be a big deal. May not be a big deal at all, because I'm going to at least attempt to do it without an air conditioner. I've got fans and I can turn fans to move the air, and at 6 o'clock in the morning. But a lot of times in Texas at 6 o'clock in the morning, it can still be 90 something degrees, and the humidity can be 50%. So I guess we'll see how it works out when it gets that time. Yeah. Morning God said, you can just sit there and sweat, boy. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, he didn't say that. I just assumed that's where he was going with it. Oh man, that's too funny. So yeah, you never know where we're going with that. But that's my opinion. And then I haven't decided yet, but I'm considering setting up another computer so So currently I'm running the TikTok software on my PC, and I'm streaming on YouTube from my mobile device. And I'm thinking about setting up a separate PC and camera to stream from both from two different computers. But I'm just not sure just yet how that's going to, if it's going to be beneficial enough or not, because of course when you have two computers you got to have two keyboards, two mice, and so it just takes up more room on the desk. And so it's a maybe or maybe not. I hadn't quite decided whether I'm going to do that or not. So that's something to come in the future. Let's see. Well, it is 10 minutes after 7. I'm trying to think of is I just I can't think of anything else I wanted to cover this morning other than if you haven't checked your AC and heating filters, now's a good time. Should be checking those once a month. It's a public service announcement. And if you do need one, go check out Filter Buy. I have it in my showcase. And so you can go check it out. They do have free shipping, and they got every size of AC filter that you could think of. So if you're in need of an AC filter, or you haven't changed or thought about changing your AC filter lately, no matter where you end up getting one from, definitely go check it, because that's what keeps nice, fresh, clean air in your house, causes you to have to dust less, ladies, and protects your system at the same time. I have a reminder on my phone that reminds me to change both of mine once a month. And plus, if you change them once a month, you don't have to buy as expensive AC filters. A lot of people think that you can buy AC filter that has a MERV rating of 12 or 13 because it filters more smaller particles of dust and pollen and all of that stuff. But it also puts a burden on your AC system, because it has to work harder to suck air through the filter and into the system, which can cause you to have a higher electricity bill too. So really best just to MERV 8 is a good all-around rating for AC filters. Takes out dust, pollen, all that other fun stuff. And if you change it once a month, and at least for me, once a month, at the end of the month, it's dirty and it needs to be changed. So yeah, check that out. Little tidbit there. Let me see. I noticed, at least on TikTok here, really on everywhere, after Christmas, sales really drop off drastically. And I get it. I do the same thing. So January so far has been a slow month. But hey, Jake, how's it going? I'm doing good. How's work? Jake just got a new job, I think last week. I don't know if he started yet or not. Anyway, so we've got that going. What else do we have going this month? Not really anything else that I can think of. Like I said, when I get ready, the garage door insulation kits, I think it said 3 days, so it should be here mid part of this week, and I'll try to. I'll show you, what it consists of, and so you can see that, and then kind of show you what my plans are and how it goes on the garage door and how that works out. So that'll be fun. We'll play trivia again sometime this week. One of the things, I just got to find my info I wanted to talk about is I saw some really interesting stuff about coffee, and I don't know that we're all coffee drinkers, but I am, and I know there's other people that join that are coffee drinkers. Where did I find that info at? Well, I'm gonna have to find, and I've done so many searches here and got so many notes. I don't find it right off the top of my head, but basically what they were talking about is that drinking coffee on a regular basis is good for you. And it talks about that it's in some studies shown to help prevent certain types of cancers, help prevent Alzheimer's, and some other health related issues. So anyone tells you drinking coffee is bad, not true. Probably if anything to excess is probably not good for you. But other than that, what's the first shift? So Jake's first shift is on Saturday, so that's good. So then he can report back after his first shift. Well, Jake, don't take too much into the first week or so, or the first few shifts, because that's kind of what I always call the honeymoon phase, and so you'll be kind of inundated. Don't let it make you feel overwhelmed. Just do the best you can, and a lot of that comes with time. The longer you do a job, you always get better at it. And then, you don't have to ask so many questions like, well, what I do here, what I do there. You'll pick that up really quick. And then, I'd say within a month, maybe even sooner, depending, everybody's a little different, but you start to kind of get the gist of how the company wants to do things and what your job entails. And then you get really good at it. And then it's just becomes second nature. So you'll like that. Yeah. So okay. So there you go, Jake. Hey, I know it's 7:17. If anybody has to run because they got to go to work, I fully understand. Thank you again for joining the live this morning. I'm going to try to put together some more stuff for tomorrow. I want everybody to have a great Monday. Take it easy. Do something fun if you can. Don't forget, send prayers to Olivia over here on TikTok because her mom's in the hospital. She fell and hit her head. And so we need to add her to our prayer list so that hopefully she can get recovered and turns out to be okay. So thank you everyone for joining Morning Coffee Talk Live with me this morning on Monday and getting the week started. Be back tomorrow, 6 a.m. Have a blessed day. Go do something kind for somebody today because you never know how it's going to affect their life. Thank you very much, and I will see y'all in the morning.